Hey, Nadya Melton here with NadyaMelton.com. We're going to share with you 3 fundamentals to living the life that you were meant to live. I'm sitting here with my good friend, Danelle Delgado. This girl is, my new title for you is a Superwoman and a Wonder Woman times 10. 10x. We just wrapped up your second event. She started a company called
Life Intended.
And what is your mission statement, Danelle?
Really bringing in the absolute best trainers the world has to offer to help people understand that they have a greater potential and give them the tools to go live it.
That's amazing.
Average is not a word in your vocabulary anymore.
And tell me your tagline.
Some people are lost in the fire and some are made from it.
Exactly. Okay. So Danelle, let's talk about it.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with number 1.
Okay. Number 1 is you have to take full responsibility for your life, right? The goods, the bads, the uglies. We are where we are because of our best thinking, our best choices. If the world's smacking you around, you had something to do with it. For sure, right? And
it's probably
that's
true. It's probably true. So number 1, you have to look in the mirror, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people out there, right, that point their finger. But the reality is, when you point one finger, 3, as you can see here, 3 are pointing back at you. So the truth of the matter is, you need to look in the mirror, you need to get to the bottom line, and you need to take responsibility. And that's where it all begins.
Right.
Because once you take responsibility, you actually take control of your life. So instead of now being on somebody else's turf, there's a lot of power in claiming what is yours, and that is your life. So that's number 1.
You
that's
can
very
own
powerful.
results.
You
right?
can then
Be
own
a
your
part of it.
results.
Yep.
You can actually examine the evidence. You can take a look at the present facts, and you can then make decisions of, okay, so this is where I am, and this is where I need to be, so what do I need to do?
Right.
And then you can plan, and you can put together, what is it that it's going to take to get you there. So number 1, take responsibility. I think that's perfect.
It's paramount.
Number 2.
Number 2 is make sure that you are your own motivation every single day. That you are the one who wakes up and commits to grow every single day. Personal growth and development, a book, an audio, the people in your life, your circle, your equivalent, it all has to be at this raised level that there's not one day you miss filling your mind.
I agree.
Excellence only comes when your mind is in order.
I agree. Because they say that 80% of what happens in our mind, like the information that's consumed, by default that is negative information between the news, between the people we spend time with. So 80% is negative. And then how are you expecting to live a positive life if most of the intake is negative information? So now, Danelle, I have to ask you.
Yes.
And last year you had a health situation.
I did.
That most people would have been knocked out. So can you tell me, what was that like?
For sure.
When you go through that much fire, and you come out with such a mission and a half. Like, I've never seen you this fired up and this focused and this on a mission.
Right.
So can you tell us, okay, because step number 2 is personal growth. So were you triple growing during that time? What was in your mind?
Yes.
Like, how did you handle the adversity? I mean, I want to know.
Right. Well, when the fires come, you have 2 choices. Advance on all fronts at triple the speed, grow, push, work, or retreat and give in. And I had a moment, I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer after going through a divorce and having 3 little kids on my own.
How old are your kids?
I have twins that are 7 and an 8-year-old.
She has twins and an 8. That's amazing.
It is. I enjoy a little wine from time to time because of that. But it was just a cycling of energy that was extremely difficult, challenges, and you reach a point when you face death, when you face challenges, you realize what you have to lose, but you realize what you have to gain. And I uncovered a whole new level of action, a whole new level of capability. I am so grateful for that experience because I found out what I was made of.
That's amazing.
It's unbelievable. The fires of life were the best thing that could have grown me.
Isn't that wild how the worst times, from outside looking in, people would go, man, that's so sad that's happening. And of course, it is never something you go, man, I want to go through that experience. But when it happens and you go through it, those darkest moments is when you really are faced with your destiny Is when you're really faced with sort of like your fears, and then you also realize that the bigger legacy, like the reason you were put on this planet.
Right. Yep. Absolutely.
And I think that's what's come out of the whole thing.
Absolutely. That's what happened. Literally 3 doses of radiation on the last one.
Wow.
I remember being on the floor, thinking of my kids and going, "You're in danger of
one
never."
time?
Yep.
In one time?
Yep. It was rough, and I remember thinking of my kids going, "You're in danger of never recovering. We got to choose. We got to make a choice."
Wow.
And because of the amazing circle around me that never allowed me to think less, that never allowed me to be negative, that just said, "We got this, you can do this," and those 3 amazing faces, we just got up and said, "You know what? Everybody needs to operate like they've had their moment looking death in the eye, and let me bring it to them before they have to have that moment."
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think it's so powerful because most people don't get to that point until they are done with their life.
Absolutely.
And then they look back going, "Man, I should have lived my life. I should have done this, that, and the other thing."
Absolutely.
So it's a blessing in disguise.
Right.
But that's really, really powerful.
Yeah.
And I want you to also touch on how you had a goal
Right.
to bring Grant Cardone,
Yes.
who's one of your biggest mentors. So
Biggest.
let's talk about it
Okay.
because this story is so stinking cool. You're gonna fall out of your chair when you hear this. All right.
It is. It's amazing. So Grant Cardone, New York Times bestselling author, 10x rule, sell or be sold. The only person who I've seen truly teach people how to sell or build business with integrity.
Yeah.
And once I read his books, he's the one who fired
Did you read
me
all
up.
4?
Yes. So he's the one who in that fiery time, I read, I listened to, I poured into it, and I go, no average, rise above, dominate, you can do this. And so it was a goal. I started Life Intended out of that situation, and so I wrote a goal down, put it in my manifestation box of the things that I pray for and want, and I said 1 year from start date, I want Grant Cardone to come train the people who mean the most to me, who I want to grow, who I want to never ever settle in life. And so a friend of mine,
Let there
the
be a
lights
light.
came on
I'm
at night in
serious. When you're
Denver.
speaking a positive message, things the universe is rolling with your vibe.
It is. So I had my dear friend Corey sent me a snapshot of Facebook of Grant offering a training to somebody who was willing and able and really wanted Grant's training. And I saw it, and I didn't do anything. And he sent it to me again with the message that said, "Why did Danelle Delgado not comment on this?"
Correct.
So I was like, okay, let's do it. That night they called me at 11 o'clock my time, which is 1 a.m. in Miami.
Wow.
And they interviewed me for about 45 minutes. And they said, well, they had thousands of people try. So
And they called
Grant's,
did they call everybody? I wonder. To
I
do the interview?
don't know. I'm sure they called a lot. It's a lead, right?
Yeah, it's a lead.
It's a lead
It's
of
a
someone
lead
who
for
likes
their
the
business.
training.
And
So
he's talked about that today.
He did.
Every department is
Every department is sales.
converted to sales.
Yep.
Okay?
So Grant's number one rule to help people build their business is to get attention. Get attention, do everything you can to draw people in. And so we got creative. And Corey got a plane, we went up and we flew around Denver, downtown, and we called Grant to come. I walked into a piano store and I rewrote Piano Man and all these different songs and made him up to call him to Denver. And I sent him a video until they got so annoyed that they would call me back. And I worked with them for so many days, and they put a challenge out there. It was going to cost some money, and so I just picked up the phone. I had 2 hours, and I got some amazing donations, and he trained our event today for an hour.
Amazing. It was more than an hour.
It was like an hour
like
and a half.
an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like he
stayed
loved
longer.
it. He loved you.
He did.
I mean,
He's
by the
amazing.
way that he kept edifying you, I have to say, like 4 or 5 times, he's like, "Can we give a round of applause to Danelle?" Because it really is. And I saw the videos. I'm telling you, I am so impressed because you really have to take a look at, okay, so what can one person, it really is a testament to thinking big and living large,
Right.
and really 10xing your mindset.
Right.
Is really what it's at.
Absolutely.
So I think that was number 2.
That was number 2.
So that was really powerful. So every day you have to grow, and when you're going through dark points in your life, which one of my girlfriends says, and she's so awesome for saying that, but she says all of us have to deal with something.
That's right.
So we either have a health issue or a financial issue or a kid's issue, a family issue. So all of us are dealing with something, and so hopefully it's not a family thing or a health thing. Maybe it's just a business thing. That's minor stuff.
Right.
That really is minor stuff
It really
compared to
is.
the big things in life.
Yep.
So when you're dealing with stuff like that, you need to triple your personal growth. Is what you got to do. What's number 3?
Absolutely. Number 3 is taking massive action
Oh,
consistently
amen.
every day.
Consistently, yes.
Every day.
Yes. Hashtag stick to it.
That's right. Hashtag YOLO.
Yeah, hashtag YOLO.
Really, you realize the power of
Yeah.
a moment and what you have every single day.
Yeah.
And if we were to live a day at average, when things are average and people do average effort and average marriages, what happens? Someone finds
yeah.
somebody else more exciting
Co-
who doesn't
correct.
do things average.
Yeah.
So it's about being excellent,
Average is
your
boring.
best every day.
Yeah, I agree.
Every day, because not
You
only
have to bring it.
right, if you don't, not only are you hurting you,
Yeah.
you're hurting the people who needed you to show up that day.
But number 3 is you have to take massive action. Bottom line to this whole conversation is that it comes a time where you have to turn inspiration into action. You can be inspired all day long. However, you need to go and step it up and mess it up. And the reality is this, I have to say, that you might be bad before you're good, good before you're great, and great before you are exceptional. And that's just a learning curve.
Absolutely.
So you just have to be okay with that, and just have fun with it. I believe the people that have the most fun, right, Danelle?
Yep.
Make the most money.
Absolutely.
So that's our message for you today. Can you believe it? It's been an amazing time.
Thank you.
I mean,
You were
for
amazing.
sure.
To
Right
have
back
you
at
and John here, this was a dream
Oh
come
my
true
gosh,
for me.
we
I
had
cannot even
such a
believe
good
it.
time.
You talk about Grant being exciting.
Yes.
There was no one in that room more excited, me and my kids, to have you guys here.
Oh, stop
Amazing.
it some more.
Stop, continue, give a little more.
Stop
Yeah.
it some more.
And
we had such a good time. And
they're gifts. Gifts.
you are so
Listen,
awesome.
learn, apply.
You are the best. You are the bomb.com. I love to say it. So, but really on a serious note, we are working on plans to bring Danelle's platform, which is amazing personal development, to the East Coast.
Absolutely.
So that's in the works, so stay tuned. And if you want to connect with Danelle, which you have got to pay attention to this girl. She's on a mission. She's now like BFFs with Grant Cardone. So for sure we should all connect and encourage and see what's happening. So I'm going to post a link below this video so you can connect with her. We'll post a link for lifeintended.org. So she's got some up and coming events. Matter of fact, you guys are having an event in August.
August 29th, a women's event.
For women only, which
Powerhouses.
I admire that. And then later on in the year. So we're gonna post some links. So check it out. And by the way, we want to see your feedback. So share with us, was it inspiring? What was your favorite tip that we shared? And if it was affecting to you, is that a way to say it? If it
Effective.
affected you, if
you
it was
go.
effective to you,
Right.
I'm telling you, this English language, you try speaking a second language. Sometimes I'm like, holy, like that does not make sense. But in my mind it made sense. It's backwards.
That's
so
why
anyways,
we love you.
that's why, it's fun. So, but here's the deal. If this video helped you and was encouraging and inspiring to you, make sure that you share. Don't be stingy. You know how I say it, don't be
No
stingy.
stingy share. You have to
have
share.
a mindset of abundance. So with that being said, Danelle, you are the best.
You are the best.
I'm so impressed. It
I
matches.
love
I'm a
having you
poet. I
here.
didn't even know it.
You did. You are so many things. You really are.
All right, let's go see what your kids are doing. So
Yes.
with that being said, we're going to sign off.
Signing
We'll
off.
see you next time. And for more tips and insights, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter and I will keep you up to speed. So with that said, we'll see you later.
Later.